Hello and welcome. I'm Sandy Chi, and here's what happened this week. A school principal in central Taiwan's Nantou County has been accused of sexually harassing over 150 students. Joyce Zeng reports.
More victims step forward. Ms. Zhang is testifying against her then elementary school teacher, who she said sexually abused her in a car when she was just a student. That teacher is now a school principal, and as other victims speak up, it's believed he could have assaulted as many as 150 children. According to Chen Yiling, a secretary general at an NGO working to prevent child exploitation, the revelations signal an unfortunate, long-standing problem.
I'm not very surprised to hear about this case, especially it lasts for more than 20 years. When things happen, the teachers tend to cover for each other. They protect each other rather than protect children.
Hierarchies dominate Taiwan's workplace cultures, which is true of schools too. Teachers rely heavily on each other and their superiors to secure career opportunities. Teachers are also highly regarded in Taiwanese society, which is evident in the trust parents have in the country's educators.
Parents, they trust teachers will take good care of their children, or they trust teachers will help their children to get to good schools. It's important for parents to trust your children rather than trust the teachers.
In 2021, Taiwan's police registered over 7,500 cases of sexual assault, over half of which involved victims younger than 18. Chen warns that with the onset of virtual learning tools from the pandemic, protecting children has become even harder.
If we talk about the violence happens, of sexual harassment, of sexual abuse, sexual exploitation happens online, we see a trend that the numbers are increasing.
Looking out for the mental and physical well-being of children, especially in this evolving digital age, is an increasingly urgent and difficult task. But the bare minimum of keeping kids safe can be met by having more open conversations with them and taking them at their word. Devin Tai and Joyce Zin for TaiwanPlus.
More and more allegations of sexual harassment are coming to light. Among the latest to share their story is the mayor of Taiwan's second biggest city. As John Van Triest reports, officials are promising to get tough on culprits.
In a city council meeting on Thursday, Lu Xiuyan, the mayor of Taichung in central Taiwan, shared her story of sexual harassment. She said she's faced unwanted and inappropriate touching throughout her political career.
那你就看到有一些色狼，他在跟你拍照，表面上是跟你并列，手却摸在你的屁股上。我当立委时候碰过，我在当市长的时候都碰过。
Lu is the latest in a string of women coming forward and urging others to be brave and stand up to harassment. A wave of cases has shown a tolerance for harassment in fields like politics, academia, and the arts. These include the case of a fire chief who allegedly secretly filmed inside a dorm for female firefighters. As more stories come out, demand for change grows.
在这样子的事件一再发生的情况之下，应该要检讨性骚扰事件的处置流程，以及增加这个实体的性平课程。
Officials say they're listening. President Tsai Ing-wen has ordered a review of laws and the handling of complaints. Taiwan's two main parties say they'll propose changes to the Sexual Harassment Prevention Act. And the cabinet says it wants to make sure coming forward makes a difference.
第一个是明定性骚扰的指引，第二个是建立更健全、有效与可信赖的申诉制度。
While it's unclear what exactly will be done, what is becoming clear is that more and more Taiwanese women have decided the time for being silent is over. James Lin and John Van Triest for TaiwanPlus.
Employers in Taiwan could soon face tougher penalties for sexual misconduct in the workplace under a new government policy. Taiwan's government proposed the rules after a recent spate of allegations of sexual harassment or abuse against public figures. Under the current law, employers are obligated to protect their staff against sexual misconduct. But there's a loophole. If the perpetrator is the employer, the law can't do anything. Another proposal is for a sexual harassment hotline for people to get advice from specialized lawyers. Taiwan is phasing out nuclear power, but this is becoming a hot issue ahead of presidential elections next year. The ruling party is against nuclear energy, but now says it could be used again in the event of an emergency. Louise Watt reports.
The man standing for president for Taiwan's ruling party, Lai Ching-te, says he's sticking with its policy of a nuclear-free homeland, just a week after telling students at a town hall that the country could bring back nuclear power if there was an energy emergency, such as China blockading the island. At another event, Lai made clear that he still wants to rid the country of nuclear power by 2025, after his comments were interpreted as a loosening of policy.
未来也会持续加强推动绿能的发展，但至于极端紧急的情况，我们也必须要预先设想可能的解决方案。不过这一些仍然需要跟社会进行沟通对话。
Lai's main challenger, Hou You-yi of the Kuomintang or KMT, has yet to reveal his energy policy. But he says the government's 2025 goal is out of reach. And he says the ruling party's more than 7 years in power has led to energy shortages and inflation.
民进党为什么要让他政党轮替？我们为什么做得会比他好？我们要用这些议题来凸显我们有能力，也有比民进党做到更好。
Nuclear provides 10% of Taiwan's power. Businesses worry that without nuclear energy, Taiwan will experience more power cuts and be less self-sufficient as it deals with increasing threats from China, which claims sovereignty over the democratic island. Public opinion in Taiwan turned against nuclear energy after the Fukushima meltdowns in Japan in 2011. But now Japan is ramping up its use of nuclear power. Visiting the country is Ke Wen-je of the Taiwan People's Party, who could split the vote at the presidential elections in early 2024. Ke has previously voiced his support for nuclear power, saying nuclear plant safety has improved and it would be less costly than generating wind or solar energy. While in Tokyo, Ke also met with a former Japanese leader who offered him some advice from first-hand experience.
そこで電力不足なんてなっては経済や国民生活に大きな影響が出ますので、ある程度やむを得ないところを妥協しながらやっていくというような今やり方ですね。
The war in Ukraine and a sharp rise in energy prices has pushed Tokyo to extend the life of nuclear reactors and build new units, a move unpopular among some Japanese. 12 years after the Fukushima disaster, nuclear power remains a controversial global issue, one Taiwan's presidential contenders will have to deal with as they head into next year's elections. Klein Wong and Louise Watt for TaiwanPlus.
Politics in southern Taiwan is going high-tech. A Kaohsiung city councillor recently used ChatGPT for the first time in official government questioning. Sam Robbins takes a look at how the rapid evolution of artificial intelligence might affect future political debates.
台湾是全球出生率第2低的国家，台湾的相对消极，无疑让人深感忧心。
Won't someone think of the children? That was the gist of the question posed by an artificial intelligence chatbot to officials in southern Taiwan. At a recent meeting, Kaohsiung City Councillor Guo Jianmeng used ChatGPT to question the city's mayor. It's the first time that generative AI has been used by the council for this purpose. Guo turned the session into a real performance with robot visuals and computer-generated audio. It's unlikely that the questioning was meant as a thorough cross-examination, as both politicians are from the ruling Democratic Progressive Party. But while this stunt has received some local media attention, chatbots like ChatGPT aren't always reliable when it comes to the basic facts.
因为我们知道 ChatGPT 它会 create 就是 create something 就是它其实并不存在，例如说它会捏造人名，它会捏造这个书名，好像就是很妙。
It can also make up numbers and statistics. The chatbot stated that Taiwan saw 90,000 fewer births in 2022 compared to 2021. This is wrong. The correct figure is closer to 15,000. Despite the skewed numbers, Mayor Chen Qimai responded in earnest about his party's childcare policies. And because the information these chatbots generate can be unreliable, experts say there is a growing need to educate people on how flawed these systems can be.
我们可能得培养一些能力，那这个能力可能可以，我觉得让我们更小心的去使用它所产出来的内容，而不是说它产出来之后我们就相信它。
Chatbot systems make guesses on what words go together based on existing materials, and pick up words that show up more often. The fact it spoke about declining birth rates only tells us there's a lot of text on this topic, not how important it is. So, when it comes to grilling politicians about some of the biggest issues facing society, chatbot systems like ChatGPT are unlikely to replace basic human curiosity anytime soon. James Lin and Sam Robbins for TaiwanPlus.
TSMC recently became Asia's most valuable company. But despite its reputation as Taiwan's silicon shield, environmental activists say the chip manufacturer's energy use is a risk for Taiwan. On Tuesday, NGO Greenpeace held a protest outside the company's annual general meeting. Sally Jensen reports.
Environmental activists in Taiwan are calling on the world's biggest chip maker to do more to protect the planet. Protesting outside TSMC's annual general meeting on Tuesday, members of NGO Greenpeace said the company uses huge amounts of electricity and emits planet-warming greenhouse gases, which puts Taiwan at risk.
绿色和平透过研究与调查发现，台积电有许多在 ESG 上的风险和隐忧。我们希望台积电可以加速它的绿电转型行动，在2030年达到 RE100 的目标。
TSMC produces over 90% of the world's most advanced semiconductors, the brains of modern electronics. These postage-sized chips are used in everything from smartphones to refrigerators and fighter jets. But making these chips requires vast amounts of energy. TSMC is currently on track to consume a tenth of Taiwan's annual electricity output by 2030. That makes TSMC Taiwan's third biggest emitter of greenhouse gases. It's not just green groups that are pressuring Taiwan's semiconductor industry to clean up. The government has passed a net zero law that commits the country to reducing its emissions by 2050. Many of TSMC's big overseas customers, like Apple and Qualcomm, are setting strict renewable energy targets across their supply chains to meet net zero. TSMC says it's also dedicated to going green.
绿色制造是台积公司永续经营的基石。台积公司实质成为全球环保标杆企业，无论在台湾或海外。
But environmentalists say that by building up its own renewable energy supply, TSMC can assist Taiwan's move to net zero while boosting the island's energy security and self-sufficiency.
绿色评认为，台积电不但是国际半导体的龙头，带动台湾的 GDP 成长，更是台湾能否达到2050净零目标最关键的龙头。
But as the global climate crisis intensifies and Taiwan feels even more of its disastrous effects, as one of the country's biggest consumers of energy, the semiconductor industry could be as much a threat as a shield. Ethan Chen and Sally Jensen for TaiwanPlus.
The shareholders' meeting also heard about the outlook for the chip giant's expansion abroad. TSMC chair Mark Liu said the company feels good about a possible new fabrication plant in Germany. If the project is confirmed, it will be the chipmaker's first European plant. It will also be part of a growing list of international investments for TSMC. The company's $40 billion fab in the US state of Arizona is currently under construction. It is expected to start producing chips by 2024. Thank you for watching Here's What Happened. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, today we leave you with images of an immersive photo exhibition on display at Taipei 101, showcasing the natural beauty of Taiwan by combining 360-degree photography with time-lapse technology. I'm Sandy Chi, take care and see you next week.